Welcome in to the latest episode of the Betting the Pitch Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, real_G Warner. We are 10-3 in our best bets that I've caught up on so far this season. Thank you all for the support. 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All the new YouTube subscribers. If you want to join the team, or at least know when podcasts are coming out, we have an NFL podcast on this channel at the real_G Warner on YouTube and on Instagram. If you want the 1-minute summary videos. The soccer ones have been going a lot better than the football ones, American football, that is. But more of that to come. Betting the Pitch is the name of the podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. 5-star reviews and comments are really helpful for search rankings. Getting a lot more viewers. I appreciate that a ton. And of course, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/real_G Warner. If you want plays across all sports, as soon as I lock them in, you get leans every night. You get a buzz if you download and turn on notifications. All a good thing. And you can save a lot of money if you go that route. Patreon.com/real_G Warner. So on tonight's episode, it's a little bit late, but I decided to do it on Thursday night as opposed to Friday. Going to go through the top 5 European soccer leagues: England, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany. It was a busy week despite having no Champions League. So we'll see what happens with all these sort of things, how the lineups end up looking. Probably the most important weekend of all of the time, all of the years, to wake up and see what these lineups look like, which is going to be a challenge for most for Halloween weekend. But I will be doing that for you. Patreon.com/real_G Warner. Best spot to get all my plays, leans, write-ups, everything you could ever ask for if you wanted more. So we're going to start in England since that's where the money is. I think the most, the important things that have happened, this week, I would say, were the Carabao or EFL Cup matches. We saw Liverpool rotate significantly, move from a 1-goal favorite to a quarter-goal underdog. So big changes there. They've also been struggling, but we should be back to regular lineups, regular things. And maybe I'll remember to set my FPL lineup this weekend for the first time in like a month. We'll see. Maybe even longer because of the international break. But here we are. So we'll start on Saturday, November 1st. Great day in the world. My sister's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Coop. But I guess we're not there yet. We'll start with Brighton hosting Leeds. Currently Brighton half-a-goal favorite with all the juice. Pretty much bet online. 10 cents more on the home team. Totals 2.5. Juice pretty heavily to over all the way, I'd say. Plus odds on under. We've seen this number climb fall from 2.75 to 2.5. I think we'll probably jockey between those type of numbers, but we shall see. And I gotta say, Brighton, I mean, they had a cup match midweek. Leeds are newly promoted to the English Premier League, and Leeds have been great at home, but have had drastic road splits in their time in the English Premier League. They've been kind of a yo-yo club, as you'd see from other countries, where they just can't seem to keep their position in the top flight in England. For this matchup, I really expect Leeds to go in and try to be defensive because they don't have much offense, unfortunately. The big question is, how great is their offense? Because unfortunately, a lot of times the teams that come up from the lower leagues are ultimately not very good at defending, and that's the biggest question. So I think Brighton, they're going to try to do their best to play an open game and try to score as many goals as possible. They need to win. They want to win, all those sort of things. I think Leeds try to prevent that. So right now, I'll lean to Leeds under 2.5. Would love to get 2 3/4 because you push on half of your bet if it lands 3, though would lose half. Make sure I mention that. But the safety there is important. I'll wait and see where this number moves. Next match, we'll go to Burnley hosting Arsenal. Currently, Burnley 1.5-goal underdogs at home with almost all the juice on Arsenal away. Totals 2 3/4, juice all the way to under. And that's pretty much how I've been playing Arsenal all season. I don't know that the Arsenal defense is incredible or great, but they basically pin the other team in their own defensive half, and there's no real chance of a counterattack because Arsenal can use fouls, yellow cards, all those sort of things. It's really the Pep Guardiola, Manchester City at its prime type of strategy. Now, Mikel Arteta, his former assistant, is essentially running that, using that, all those sort of things. Burnley's 1.5-goal underdog is gigantic at home, but it's probably deserved because I don't know how they're going to score. That's my biggest question, especially pinned in their own end. That's going to end up killing their batteries, or it's going to be very fatiguing, I would say. But Arsenal sometimes struggle to score despite putting people back in there, and it's really hard to pierce through 11 people, though the set pieces certainly help. I think under 2 3/4 is my biggest interest in this one. I'll have a little bit of an interest in Burnley 1.5 underdogs, just because a single loss at home and you can still win a full bet is significant, and that looks like it'll even be higher by the time we get to kickoff. 1 3/4, maybe even a 2. So I'll be looking out for that because I expect the total to also climb as well. 2 3/4 right now, though, is pretty nice, even though it's very juiced at Bet Online. Next, we'll move to Fulham, half a goal favorite at home to Wolves. almost all the juice on Fulham. Total in this one is 2.25, and it's used very heavily to under. So Wolverhampton Wanderers have been really bad for 2 years now, maybe longer. Fulham played really good football, and I think they can score goals. I don't know that I trust Fulham's offense significantly, though. They've tried to figure out their striker position when they do have Rodrigo Muniz or Raul Jimenez from Mexico. It's better, but I think that's the real only interest I have there. I don't want to play Wolves to score goals. I don't believe in them. Don't trust that offense at all. Moving next, Nottingham Forest hosting Manchester United. Now that Ange Postecoglou's gone, maybe this team could actually figure things out. Nottingham Forest quarter goal underdogs at home. All the juice on Manchester United. Total is 2.75. Juice more to the over than the under. So I don't know that I believe in Nottingham Forest. I mean, they were really lucky to finish where they did last season. Were awesome despite having no possession, and then they basically told their manager to leave. Not a great idea when you're playing in Europa League, but here we are. Manchester United, I think, have much bigger flaws, though, based on where they're rated in the market. And they're a road favorite here, so it's really tough to go to the City Ground and win. So I'll lean to Nottingham Forest quarter goal underdogs at home and to the under 2.75. Move next, Crystal Palace. They are half a goal favorite at home to Brentford. More juice on the Brentford side. Totals 2.75. Juice heavily to under right now. Brentford have not looked like a really defensive side. They're still a team that somehow finds goals. I'm not really sure how they do it. Must be their metrics, or they're just gambler as an owner, or maybe he's lucky. I don't know. It probably is if he got to owning an English Premier League club, though I think he did ride them up from the championship. With all that said, Crystal Palace are really good at home. They're really tough to fade. I guess I'll lean to Brentford, half a goal underdogs right now, and to under 2.75, but they are not strong leans at the moment. Next window, we go to 1:30 Eastern time. Tottenham Hotspur, they're hosting Chelsea. Currently, I pick them at home, all the juice on Chelsea away. Totals 2.75. Juice is split both ways, and Tottenham has not gotten a lot of respect from the marketplace recently. Trip to Newcastle midweek, three-quarter goal underdogs was pretty gigantic in a Carabao Cup match where they played. Both teams rotated significantly, but especially goalkeepers. But ultimately, I thought that was a pretty good Tottenham lineup. Not a lot of love for them really since Champions League. We're underdogs, I believe, in the Premier League last weekend on the road at Everton. So clearly not a lot of love there. But I think Chelsea have a lot of flaws. They still need to prove that they are as talented as the money spent on their players suggests. So Tottenham as a pick, I'm interested and would love to get a quarter of a goal. Next, in the last matchup on Saturday, Liverpool 1-goal favorites at home to Aston Villa. Total is 3 on this one, juice very heavily to over, and all the juice right now is on the Aston Villa side, getting a full goal of insurance, and that's a number I don't really want to lose, a key number like that, especially with how Liverpool have been struggling, and I guess they didn't play anybody midweek. Saw that line change a goal and a quarter from number I was looking at it. It's incredible. I think a goal in the same day. Liverpool have problems. I think they have problems defensively too, but Aston Villa are a pretty good defensive team. So I'll lean to the underdog as a full goal insurance and also to under 3. We'll wait to see if this climbs to 3.25. It certainly would make me more interested in under because a lot of matches I think will land 3 or less. But Aston Villa +1 is probably my biggest interest in that matchup. Moving to Sunday, West Ham United three-quarter goal underdogs at home to Newcastle. All the juice in Newcastle on the road. Total in this one is 2.75, juice all the way to under. West Ham have shown no ability to score goals, so all I could possibly do is lean under. It's because I don't play road favorites, so under 2.75 is the best interest there. Newcastle can score, but away from home, they're not the same offense. They're not the same team. So West Ham under 2.75 goals is my biggest interest there. To the nightcap on Sunday, Manchester City, a 1-goal favorite to Bournemouth. All the juice on City totals 3, and it's juice more to the over. I'm still not a believer in Manchester City. I think they are closer to the peak valuation they've been in the past. Not as bad as last year, but I still don't think they are a team that deserve to be this big of a favorite to a great team like Bournemouth, who are going to make them pierce through them and have plenty of offense that you just wouldn't expect from a smaller club. I think where they sit in the Premier League table is deserved, and Antoine Semenyo is one of the best. I still can't believe he still plays for Bournemouth, but we'll see if he moves in January or waits for a big money signing this summer. Bournemouth +1 I like. I'll lean to under 3. They can score goals more than you expect for a deep sitting team, and I am part of the Andoni Iraola cult, so Bournemouth +1, biggest interest in that one. We do have a Monday match, Sunderland. I pick 'em at home to Everton, a little bit more juice on Everton away. Totals 2.25, juiced all the way to under. Sunderland, I worry about how they're going to score goals, but I feel the same way about Everton, so I'll lean to the pick 'em at home more strongly to under 2.25. And for my best bet in England, I think I will go with. I like to pick Saturday because I don't want to interfere with Sunday stuff, I'll say. But I think the I mean, I'm tempted by Nottingham Forest, but I feel like I need to see them playing well. So I'll go with the Burnley Arsenal under 2 and 3/4 goals. That to me is, I think, a game that's going to really struggle to see any sort of action in front of the goal. Now let's do a sound check. Make sure anyone live, if you're having audio issues or you're not hearing me, please say something. I don't see anything in the comments. So we're back. Let's go to Spain. Getafe, as I wear their kit, they are hosting Girona. Currently, quarter goal favorites are Getafe at home. Total is 2, just more to the under. And Girona are trying to figure out what the heck to do because they have fallen off from a Champions League side to one fighting relegation, and they deserve it because they've been horrible and they pretty much Man City has cast them off as a team they don't care about, despite being a minor league squad of them, basically. I don't really trust Hetafe to score goals. Girona's defense does concern me, but I think we see a low-scoring game here as Hetafe play all those type of games. I mean, Real Madrid did everything they could and still only got one goal right immediately following a red card in the match a couple weekends ago. So I think we could see that same sort of thing against Girona. Hetafe are not going to really expand for offense, so they are a favorite here, which I guess makes me lean to Girona, but I need to see better from Girona before I want to trust them besides the under in that matchup. Move next to Villarreal hosting Rayo Vallecano. Currently Villarreal 3/4 goal favorites with more juice. Total 2 and 3/4. Juice is split both ways. So Villarreal, more of a counter-attacking side this year. I think that's better for them in Champions League. Certainly, if they've added a lot of talent, a lot has left, but somehow they've been treading water or doing fairly well, I think, outperforming my expectations in La Liga. I think Rayo Vallecano are a great side. I want to back them. And I think that they are going to play defensively. Two teams that play a pretty counterattacking style. I like that for a low scoring game. So biggest interest is under 2 and 3/4. I'll lean to Rayo Vallecano getting 3/4 of a goal, especially because the juice is pointing to the maybe potentially getting a pretty expensive one on Saturday morning. Atletico Madrid then hosts Sevilla. Currently Atleti 1.5 goal favorites. More juice on Sevilla away. Total is 3 in this one, juice all the way to under. Atletico Madrid have turned around their season, but they still are not exactly the Diego Simeone Cholo squad from years and years ago. Sevilla, I thought it played very well. Met a Sevilla guy here, actually locally in Dallas recently, and he's a hater, I think, at this point, because Sevilla have really impressed. I think 1.5 goal underdogs is gigantic. I'll lean to under 3 as well. I do think Sevilla have more offense and they want to counter press or really just press you high up the pitch. And that's the big question is what that will look like in this matchup at Atleti. Certainly could be exploited. I think I like Atleti. I like fading Atleti. I like Sevilla as a side, I think, more than I like under 3 because Atleti do have goals in them. Real Sociedad then hosts Athletic Club Bilbao in the El Derby Vasco, the Basque Derby, biggest one in the northern, I guess, I wouldn't call it a province of Spain because they certainly want to secede, but Spain's trying to not let that happen. I don't know what's going to happen there, but Real Sociedad pick them with a little bit more juice. Total is 2, juice all the way to over. So Real Sociedad have not proven they can score goals. Athletic Club have not either. Always questions, and I really want to see Athletic Club playing their Williams brothers because if they're not in that team, then that offense is extremely stagnant. For now, I don't play road pick'ems, and Real Sociedad should have a huge crowd. So I think Athletic Club is a side I do not want, but I can't trust Real Sociedad to score. I think I need them as an underdog. So instead, I will lean to Athletic Club Bilbao under 2 goals in that matchup. Real Madrid then hosts Valencia in the Saturday night cap. Currently, Real Madrid 2.25 goal favorites. All the juice on Valencia away. Total 3.5, and it's juice more to the under. We saw Valencia play defensively after a good start at Alaves a couple weeks ago. We're probably going to see a very defensive setup from Valencia, and I feel like they have, especially after letting Real Madrid off the hook last year, I think conceding 2 goals in stoppage time to lose, or at least 2 late goals after leading 1-0. I think we see a very defensive Valencia. 2.25 is a gigantic price for a side that's going to make you try to get through them. I don't think Real Madrid can do that. I think they're very overrated. And I really kind of like what I've seen from Valencia so far, that they just really struggle to score goals. For that reason, I think I like under 3.5 more than the 2.25 goal spread, but it's still gigantic, and I'm interested in both. Move next to Sunday. Levante hosting Celta de Vigo. Currently, Levante pick'em. All the juice on Celta away. Totals 2 and 3/4. Juice all the way to under. Two teams struggling. Celta de Vigo trying to balance Europa League, but also they've, I thought, been pretty good, but just not winning matches, playing tight ones. A lot of low-scoring games, paying out the unders. I like that. Levante have not been very good at home in their return to Spanish top flight. I'm interested in them though as a home underdog. I'll say that, so I'll put them on the list as a pick 'em. And 2 and 3/4 is just gigantic price these offenses can't really sustain. Alaves then hosts Espanyol. Currently, Alaves quarter goal favorites. All the juice on Espanyol away. Total is 2 in this one, just a little bit more to over. I'm a little tempted to grab Espanyol early because I don't want to lose that quarter of a goal. But we'll see if Alaves money comes in. I don't really love betting things 2 days in advance, especially with Copa del Rey midweek. So I'll put Espanyol on my list, quarter goal underdogs, and under two in that matchup as Alaves games just don't have goals in them. Barcelona then hosts Elche. Currently 2 goal favorites are Barcelona at home. Totals 3.5. Juice more to the under. All the juice on Elche right now. If you want the two, you could grab it. Edris Rabia has been awesome. The Liga manager, Entrenador of the month, I believe, of September because October's not done yet. But really like what I've seen from them. Barcelona coming off El Clasico. Should have mentioned that about Real Madrid as well with Champions League coming up. I think there's a good chance Elche are involved in this one. I just put down 3.5 under as interesting for me, but I just can't play under to Barcelona with that high line. Can never do it, and their offense too. But Elche +2 looks a lot to me. And I love the push on losing by 2 goals in a single match. Last but not least, on Sunday, Real Betis hosting Mallorca. Currently, Betis 1 goal favorites. All the juice on Mallorca away. Totals 2.5. Juice pretty heavily to over right now. And I think that's really just a statement against the Mallorca defense. They've looked really bad, look like they're in deep trouble, especially considering how much money the American owners have spent on revitalizing the game day experience with all these ghouls, goblins, and people breathing fire, it seems. I mean, probably apropos for Halloween, but they're not even playing on Halloween, of course. I think the under 2.5 is my biggest interest. I don't want to back Mallorca to score goals away. Problem is, Real Betis can score, but they're not playing in their home stadium. It's looked pretty good at La Cartuja, I think an Olympic stadium in Sevilla, while the Benito Villamarin is getting fixed up or maintenance or whatever, reinvigorated for the future. I think under 2.5 is the biggest interest in that one. Moving to Monday, Real Oviedo, a pick'em at home to Osasuna. All the juice on Osasuna away. Total is 2. Juice all the way to over. Real Oviedo are going to really struggle to stay in La Liga. They've done a great job from nearly going extinct to somehow making it to the top flight. I don't really like what I've seen from Osasuna. Oviedo, probably not really either. But I think they'll compete at home. I think under 2 is very interesting, as well as the pick'em, because Osasuna as a road favorite just doesn't really compute for me at this point in the season, I got to say. For my best bet from Spain, I will go with that under 2 and 3/4 goals, Rayo Vallecano at Villarreal. I think that's a really, I almost feel like that's overpriced at this point, and it feels like a mistake to me almost at this point in the season. Check the audio, make sure everyone's good. Good. No complaints. Great. We'll keep going. We'll move to Italy in Serie A and Spain. Udinese, 3/4 goal underdogs at home with all the juice at home to Atalanta. Totals 2.5, and it's juiced all the way to over. So Udinese, they have not looked great. Good start to last season, but that kind of curtailed as you get further. And Kostas Ivor has been pretty good, I think. And I expect Atalanta to come back down to earth sometime soon, if not started already, but it hasn't yet. I guess we're still waiting. I'm still waiting. But I do like the home underdog. I think that's pretty. I mean, you got to win by 2 goals to take my full unit, so that interests me for sure. I don't know that I have much interest in under though, and that does limit my interest in the Udinese home dog. Napoli then hosts Como. Currently, Napoli half a goal favorite. More juice on Como by 2 cents. Totals 2.25 with really low Napoli totals continuing. Under is 2.25 in this one. So Como to me is the side I want to back. Napoli have been completely disrespected by the Serie A market, and I trust that one probably more than any other gambling market in this world, maybe NFL. But at this point, I think Como getting a half a goal is worth a look, though that is an extremely high price to pay or valuation to buy into for Como away at the Scudetto holders, Serie A champions from last season. Cremonese then hosts Juventus in the nightcap. Cremonese 1 goal underdogs, all the juice on Juve away, totals 2.5, and juice slightly more to under. I don't trust the Juve defense at this point, so Cremonese 1 goal underdog seems very interesting. I'm a little concerned how they score, so under 2.5 is on my list as well, though Juve have not defended very well, and they do have some attacking talent, so I probably should leave that to the side, but Cremonese a full goal underdog seems very interesting to me. Moving to Sunday, Verona hosts Inter Milan in the early matchup, lunchtime or so in Italia. Verona 1.25 goal underdogs with a little bit more juice, totals 2.5, and it's juiced pretty heavily to over right now. Inter have been really great since a poor start to the season. Their defense has been locked tight. Verona to do everything they can to keep this as low scoring as possible. I'll lean to that 1.25, but I think I like under 2.5 even more, and would like 2 and 3/4 even more than that. Torino then hosts Pisa. Currently, Torino half a goal favorites, a little bit more juice. Excuse me, all the juice on Pisa away. Totals 2.25, and it's juiced all the way to under. And this is because Torino can't score, and they're a favorite. They've been in the league a long time, but they've looked really bad and have looked progressively worse every season. Pisa have not shown any ability to score either, so under seems very interesting to me there. Fiorentina then hosts Lecce. Currently, Fiorentina 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2.25, juice more to the over. So Lecce, not an offense that you want to back anywhere, especially not on the road. At home, they do find some goals sometimes. Fiorentina have gotten off to a horrible start. Under 2.25 is biggest interest for me because I think they're going to struggle to win this matchup. Parma then hosts Bologna. Currently, Parma quarter goal underdogs at home with all the juice on Bologna. Total is 2, juice all the way to over. And Parma unders are very interesting to me. 2 is very low, but it should be that way. I don't think I want much to do with their underdog at home because I don't think they can score. And Bologna have proven that they're a good team. But we'll see if they stumble on the road in a tough place to play. Milan then hosts Roma in the nightcap on Sunday, the biggest matchup of the Serie A Italian calendar. Currently, Milan quarter goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2.25, juice more to the under. I'm not a believer in Milan at this point. They're going to really benefit from only playing one match a week. That's why Napoli won the Scudetto last season, I think. Roma looked really impressive. I love Gasparini, so I'll lean to that quarter of a goal. The total at 2.25 is very low for these teams, though, so that does worry me a little bit. Moving to Monday, Sassuolo quarter goal favorites at home to Genoa. Total is 2, just all the way to over, and I'd love to see this climb to 2.25. I'm team Genoa under as long as I can be. I don't trust them to score, so I don't want much to do with their quarter goal underdog on the road. Sassuolo have looked much more mature after a really naive start to their return to Serie A after a season away, but under in that matchup. Last but not least, Lazio 1 goal favorites at home to Cagliari. Total is 2.5, juice more to the under. Cagliari a big juice on their +1 right now, but that's the way I lean. And I like under 2.5 because they're going to go on the road and try to keep this as low scoring as possible. For my best bet in Italian Serie A for the weekend of Halloween, I will go with Cremonese, a 1 goal underdog at Juventus. We'll now move to French League 1. Again, I'll check the audio to make sure everyone's good. Good. No complaints. Any questions, comments? Feel free to throw them in. I know we're a little bit late night, but I appreciate that. Go to PSG. 1 3/4 goal favorites at home to Nice. All the juice on PSG. Totals 3.5. Juice more to the under. There were League matches midweek this week. That is bad for smaller budget clubs. Nice are one of those. I don't really want much to do with them either. They've not been very good this year, and this is a really tough, their toughest match of the season, I think. Monaco then hosts SC Paris, the other Paris club. Monaco 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice, totals 3.25, juice all the way to under. FC Paris have gotten a lot of love this season. I haven't believed in it. I kind of like the overvalued squads, though Como certainly did fairly well in Serie A last season. There's not much that I want to do here. I don't really want to fade Monaco. I think they're much better. So I'll move to the last matchup on Saturday. Angers 3/4 goal underdogs at home to Marseille. Total is 2.75. Just slightly more to unders, a couple cents. I'll be waiting to see if Angers move to a 1 goal underdog. I lean that way. I'm a little concerned about betting against Marseille goals with an under or something like that. But I do like the 3/4 goal home underdog with Marseille with Champions League on deck. Moving to Sunday, Rennes hosts Strasbourg. Currently, Rennes quarter goal favorites at home. All the juice on Strasbourg away. Total is 2 3/4. Excuse me. All the juice right now on the over. Probably see this one climb. Which with Rennes, I feel like they defend under the new manager from last season. So that's a big total. Would love to see it hit 3. I don't think I want to back Strasbourg here, that the market clearly loves them. I think at Pick'em, I'm interested in Rennes, and I'd love to be against the Strasbourg side that seemed to be a little bit overvalued to me after a really nice performance on the road to PSG a few weeks ago or a month ago now. Lille then hosts Angers. Currently, Lille 1.5 goal favorites, a little bit more juice. Total is, or significantly more juice. Total is 2 3/4, juice more to the over. Angers have been a side that have made me a lot of money over the years, or at least this season. I've been backing a lot. Last season, I think, as well. They are starting to look like big underdogs and bigger underdogs every week. Lille is a tough place to play. I don't like the little fire that gets set every time they score a goal, like the sparks that go off. It's not a good feeling when you're on the under or the other team or both. I don't know that I trust Angers to score here. I don't think this is a good setup for them away on the road at Lille. Lens then hosts Lorient. Currently, Lens 1 1/4 goal favorites. All the juice on Lorient away. Totals 2 3/4, just more to the over. I don't trust Lorient defense. I don't want much to do with that. Lens is a really tough place to play. Next, go to Toulouse, hosting Le Havre. Currently, Toulouse 3/4 goal favorites. All the juice on Le Havre away. Total is 2.5, just a little bit more to under. So Toulouse, I mean, they've been starting to get a ton of respect from the market. Le Havre really are just a defense-only type of side. I don't really like that on the road at Toulouse either. Not a lot coming up in Ligue 1 for me this weekend. Nantes then hosts Metz. Currently, Nantes half goal favorites. A little bit more juice on Metz away. Totals 2.5. Juice all the way to under. and Mets have looked. I mean, they took a pretty big loss against Toulouse, fell behind 2-0, took a ridiculous two-legged challenge, which I don't think any contact was made. Certainly, Toulouse made it look like it, and those fouls are not really allowed anymore. Those tackles are not allowed, so that got a red card, Sané, and unfortunately, that led to a 4-0 loss. Then Mets were a pretty big underdog midweek as well. I don't know that they really deserve to be at home to Lens as well. This number feels pretty respectful, but also have not been liked by the market either. I lean the Mets getting half of a goal, but I'm starting to feel a little bit concerned by interest in them, backing them so far. Last but not least, Stade Brestois host Lyon. Currently, Brest, a quarter goal underdog at home. Juices split both ways. Total is 2 3/4, juice all the way to under. So Lyon are somehow coming through a debt problem that almost got them relegated. I feel like they've outperformed all expectations, really. But I lean to Stade Brestois at home. I think they're very mature and they play well there. I don't know that I want to play any sort of under stuff there though, because I think that's going to be a really tough setup for Stade Brestois, and I think they could score goals. I know Lyon can, so unders just seem like they're an endangered species, and that's probably the least leans I've ever had in a league calendar schedule since they've moved to 18 games or 18 teams, or even with 20. I don't think it matters. Last but not least, we'll go to German Bundesliga. I'll check to make sure that we are still live, no audio complaints. Great. For those of you live with me, I appreciate that. But the recording usually works. So holler if you don't, something didn't work, and I can probably do this again. I'm not sure I'll have time because we should have a college basketball episode coming out with Big East Ben's top 10 on the pregame.com podcast network tomorrow. See when that gets released, though. So we'll move to Friday in the German Bundesliga. Augsburg, 1 goal underdogs with all the juice against Borussia Dortmund, hosting them. Totals 3 1/4, juice all the way to under. There was DFB Pokal midweek from most of the clubs in Bundesliga. They should have won that first matchup unless they're in really big trouble. That's usually a bad indicator and something I'm trying to pay more attention to in the future. But Augsburg is a full goal underdog. I'll certainly lean that way. They stay in the league every year from home results. They're going to play more football this year, though. That concerns me. I like the under 3 1/4. It's very juiced right now. Three, I guess I like to push there. Two, if it falls, I do have concerns in any sort of unders with Borussia Dortmund away from home in the Bundesliga because they go all out to win these matches and don't seem to care about conceding or taking risks. And if they concede, they're like, so what? Moving to Saturday, Mainz 05 hosting Werder Bremen. Currently, Mainz a half a goal favorite. All the juice on Werder Bremen away. Total is 3, just more to the over. And Mainz have not been playing well for this entire season. They're basically an intensity only squad that are now playing multiple competitions, trying to spread their rotation out, but that's not been going very well. So Werder Bremen half a goal underdogs I'm interested in. The under 3, I think that's more the Werder Bremen game. They're going to have to give more and see what happens on the road at Mainz, but I'm less afraid of Mainz at this point, so I lean to the road underdog. We'll move next to Heidenheim hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Currently, Heidenheim half a goal underdog at home with more juice on Frankfurt. Total is 3 1/4, juice pretty heavily to under right now. Goals have been all over Frankfurt matches. Their defense has been bad. I think for that reason, the home underdogs on my list. I don't think I want to play anything with the total. Leipzig then hosts Stuttgart. Surprising half a goal favorite, all the juice on Stuttgart away. Total is 3 1/4, just more to the over. Leipzig are in a rebuild. They've been impressive, though. They certainly have great ability to get talent. Who knows what Jurgen Klopp is doing there? But the Stuttgart side looks big to me. I think they're still very talented. Both of these teams want to score goals, which might mean that this is a low-scoring game, but I don't know that I want to get involved there. Union Berlin then hosts Sport Club de Freiburg. Sport Club Freiburg. Currently, Union, they are a pick'em with all the juice, and this one has split or has flipped from Freiburg being the more expensive pick'em by a lot to now Union Berlin. We'll see if they move to quarter goal favorite, because once you start making Union a favorite, they can become less interesting to me, even at home. Total is 2 1/4. Juice to split both ways in this one. I think we see a low scoring match, though there haven't been a lot of low scoring matches for Union so far this season. I lean to the pick 'em at home and under 2 1/4. Move next to St. Pauli, hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach in a battle of teams that have not been playing well lately. St. Pauli, quarter goal favorites at home. Ooh, I almost lose my iPad. St. Pauli, quarter goal favorites at home with all the juice. Total is 2.5, and it's juice more to the over. Gladbach are not backable until they prove something. They've had big flaws in their club ever since they went and advanced in Champions League years ago with Marcus Thuram and many others, Ginta as well. I don't know. There's much for me to play here. Maybe under, but Gladbach's defense has been so bad. Joe Scally is ripping the team to shreds in post game interviews right on the pitch. It's not a great situation there, and that's scary things to get involved in putting hard work earned money out there. To the the Topspiel, the biggest matchup in German Bundesliga. This is a Saturday night game in Deutschland. Bayern München, 2-goal favorites at home to Bayer Leverkusen. Juices split both ways in this one. Totals 3 3/4. Juice very heavily to over, and it should be. Leverkusen, I'm interested in though because 2 goals is gigantic. They've certainly taken a big step back, lost their manager, lost a lot of talent. But I've liked how they've played. The problem is going into Munich and potentially getting blasted by Bayern. Um, Probably won't make my card, but it's on my list. To Sunday, FC Köln hosting uh, Hamburg Sportverein. Currently, Köln, a quarter goal favorite with more juice, totals 3, just all the way to under. Two newly promoted sides, giants in the German Bundesliga that were in the Schweizerliga last year. I think we see a pretty conservative game plan from Hamburg on the road, though Köln will have no sense of conservation in them. I'm a little concerned back in Hamburg, but I feel like Köln have been flying very high, and I'm not sure they can stay at that altitude. I lean to under 3 as well. It's very juiced and is not the way Köln play. So I got to really decide how much I like Hamburg in this matchup on Sunday. Last but not least, VfL Wolfsburg, quarter goal underdogs at home to TSG Hoffenheim. Total is 3, juiced all the way to over, and we've seen some Hoffenheim money coming in for sure. Wolfsburg as a home underdog is interesting. Hoffenheim have been great away from home. I don't know that that's really something they can continue, though they have no real home field advantage, so it's worked for them so far. Under 3 is an interest for me because Wolfsburg, if they take a lead, they'll play very defensive. I'm not sure they will, especially as a home underdog, but I think that's with the value side, and that's where I'll be looking in the Sunday nightcap. So for the last best bet to potentially move to the ultimate best bet portion of the show in the German Bundesliga, let's go with Werder Bremen, half a goal underdog on the road at Mainz. Just really betting against a Mainz team that I don't really believe in whatsoever at this point in the season. So make sure I plug in before my computer shuts off. I have no idea what happened with the podcast if that occurred. Probably would be broadcasting forever. But thank you for those of you that came in. Want to plug the NFL podcast on the Betting the Pitch Podcast Network. You can find it at the same place you're finding this, most likely. Also on YouTube and on Instagram. We do the best bet summary type of reels on Sundays to try to get them out earlier. But soccer is certainly taking precedence and has been much more profitable this season, to say the least. That's with my guy A_Schnicker. I did a Major League Baseball Game 6 podcast and talking throughout the rest of the World Series with Munaf Manji on pregame. We'll be having a play for Friday night on Halloween in Game 6. Maybe we'll see a clincher. We'll see. And then other than that, 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify are huge. Really thankful to all the YouTube subscribers that have been coming in, and go check out what you're missing out on because a lot of new people have shown up. I think a lot based on a talented co-host. No, just kidding. I think maybe a really good run in soccer has helped, but please check me out. And of course, that all leads to Patreon, the best place to get all my plays, leans, write ups across all sports every night or wee hours in the morning. I try to get my leans up, then get my plays in with. I've been working on trying to get as much time for subscribers to go get the bets in as much as I can. That's been a work in progress and something that we're certainly getting better at. 10 minutes is usually what I'm shooting for, trying to do more than that moving forward. But a lot of handicapping, especially for a lot of lines and on games that are all starting at the same time. And reading lineups is the biggest tough part for me at this point. But there we are. That's probably all I can plug. Big East Ben's top 10 coming out, I think, this weekend. We'll see on the Pregame.com podcast network for college basketball starting very, very soon, of course. But it's time for the ultimate best bet. I'll recap my favorites across the leagues we just covered. And then, of course, I'll make that a reel at some point at the real_G Warner on Instagram and in shorts on YouTube at the real_G Warner. And so let's do it. In England, I like Burnley under 2 3/4 goals. In La Liga in Spain, Rayo Vallecano under 2 3/4. In Serie A in Italy, I like Cremonese +1. Ligue 1 in France, I like Angers. Nope. Excuse me. I like Angers. Different. Auxerre. Angers. They're 3/4 goal underdogs. We'll certainly wait for one there. And the German Bundesliga, I like Werder Bremen, a half of a goal underdog. But for the ultimate best bet in this episode, I'll certainly be waiting for 3, but I'll take Burnley under 2 3/4 goals. They're at home for the Arsenal, and I think we see a very low-scoring matchup with Arsenal pinning Burnley back, probably keeping a clean sheet, but I want the Burnley under there, and I probably won't get a 3, but it'd be nice if it shows up. And that'll do it for this episode. Don't see any comments out here. Thanks to you that have joined live. Appreciate that. And we'll see you next time on the Betting the Pitch podcast, most likely next week for Champions League.